Dr. Akilah Cadet joins Issue Zero for a conversation on voting rights, systems of power, and white supremacy. We created Issue Zero to expand what media can hold, beyond headlines, beyond performance, beyond simplified narratives. Through Trura, across print, digital, and now this platform, we are building visibility that creates understanding around the systems shaping culture, economics, public life, and community. Because informed people move differently, connected communities move differently, and when people understand where power operates, they begin to understand how change becomes possible. A decision by 6 appointed judges significantly weakened key provisions of the Voting Rights Act. 6 votes, an outcome already shaping how voting protections are enforced across the country. This law was passed in 1965 after sustained organizing and national attention on voter suppression. It established federal oversight in areas where access to the ballot had been systematically restricted. At Trura and through Issue Zero, we created this space to deepen understanding through conversation, visibility, storytelling, and journalism that centers humanity, accountability, and connection. We believe informed communities create stronger communities, and when women, especially Black women, are informed, connected, economically aware, and aligned, there's tremendous power in how we move, build, support, and create change together. Today's conversation focuses on voting rights, systems of power, public engagement, and white supremacy, and how these forces continue to shape public life in real time.
Grounded in her work as the founder and CEO of Change Cadet, and in her book, White Supremacy is All Around Us, Notes from a Black Disabled Woman in a White World, this conversation examines how systems operate across media, business, politics, and everyday life, and how awareness, alignment, and collective action influence the way communities respond and move forward. Media shapes perception. Perception shapes behavior. Behavior shapes the systems we continue or disrupt. And when we begin asking deeper questions about who benefits, who is visible, who is protected, and who is heard, we begin to understand how influence moves through every part of public life. That understanding changes how we participate, how we support, and how we build. We're in a moment where conversations around voting rights need to return to the forefront. Recent court decisions have changed how parts of the Voting Rights Act are applied and enforced. That law created tools to monitor elections and protect access to the ballot. Over time, several of those provisions have been reduced or removed, shifting how protections are carried out and who is responsible for enforcing them. At the same time, we are living in an environment where influence is constant through media, technology, marketing, politics, and economics. We are continuously being shown what success looks like, what values look like, and what belonging is supposed to look like. But participation is not limited to voting. Economic participation is also power. Where we spend, who we support, and what systems we sustain all shape the world around us. As a Forbes Next 1000 entrepreneur and one of the San Francisco Business Times most influential women of the Bay Area, Dr. Cadet's work sits behind some of the largest brands and organizations people interact with every day.
Dismantling white supremacy through storytelling is central to her work as a leader, speaker, creative director, producer, writer, editor, and strategist.
She is also co-owner of the Oakland Roots and the Oakland Soul Sports Club, where she helped lead the most successful community investment round in sports history.
Her book, White Supremacy is All Around Us, Notes from a Black Disabled Woman in a White World, examines how systems of power operate across public life, institutions, culture, and everyday experience.
Dr. Cadet proudly celebrates her disability, her Haitian identity, her love for Oakland, California, and brings honesty, clarity, and humanity into every space she enters.
I'm Tristan Cunningham.
And I'm Seneca Connor.
And this
is Issue Zero.
So welcome, Dr. Akilah Cadet.
That is me.
Thank you so much for being here.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. I'm so excited about this conversation. And I want to thank you for the work that you do. It's so important to have someone like you in the times that we're living. So thank you for being here, and let's get right into it.
Yes. So I want to jump right in.
Okay.
So tell us about how did you get here to where you are now and who you are now? I know that's a big
Loaded.
question,
Yeah.
but what does that look like?
White supremacy.
Okay.
Next
Yeah.
question. No, I'm kidding. Well, first I have to say it's always like wonderful and incredible to be around melanin and Black women. I do want to set some expectations for your listeners and viewers.
Okay.
I am a very proud disabled person, so I want to do an image description. So just in case anyone from my community is tuning in and they may not be able to see my wonderful outfit, I think they need to know what is happening. So
yes, please.
My pronouns are bad bitch or she, her.
Okay.
I have my natural curls out today, full curls, fresh curls, day one curls.
Yay.
I am wearing a vintage white blazer that's adorned with pearls and some sheer just extraness on the sleeves. I also have on vintage Rocawear sample
Wow.
jorts, meaning these are runway Rocawear jorts, which I'm very, very proud of.
Yes.
Awesome.
And then we are sitting in this incredibly beautiful studio that is very calming. We have a lot of tan tones and some natural kind of like floral things going on with the marble art. And it would be great if the two of you could do image descriptions.
Absolutely.
too.
But I'm going to stop you because you missed my favorite part of your outfit, which is your shoes.
Yes.
Oh, well, you
Yes.
I for the camera, for the feet finder right here.
I love these shoes.
Yes, they're
Thank
adorable.
you.
Yeah.
These
They're
are the
not
only
tall.
things that are like actually new. These are Ghani kitten heels because I actually can't wear heels anymore. So I had to like say goodbye to a lot of shoes.
Yeah.
It still hurts my
I
soul.
know.
But, some days I'll wear like a 2-inch, but I'm usually wearing like a true like 1.5, 1-inch heel.
Yeah.
Or shorter.
Those are adorable.
Yeah. Whole bunch of rings, whole bunch of jewelry. I give too many thumbs up, but part of my disability, my thumb is not working today. So this is staying in socket fashion right now. Yeah.
I love it. Absolutely. And I'm happy to give a visual description of what I'm wearing. So I have on a black blazer. I don't know where it's from. I've had it for years and I don't remember.
Your closet.
Yes, from closet. I have on a lime green t-shirt that says Capricorn because I am a Capricorn.
You give off Capricorn vibes.
I do. I?
Yeah.
I'm a cap.
proud.
I'm proud. Yes, I'm definitely a cap through and through. And then I have on these jeans that are from why can't I think of her name when I need to? Anyway, we'll come back to them. But it's jeans and they're paper bag jeans, and it has a little green rope. And then I have on some very old lady flats.
Very on trend.
Yes, with the bow.
Yes.
With the little bow.
A little chevron detail in there.
Yes,
Stitching.
yes.
I love that.
Yes, just to
Yeah.
kick that old lady vibe up a notch.
But you didn't talk about your fantastic burgundy wash bob that you have going
burgundy
on.
Thank you.
wash. I love
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Burgundy wash. Yes.
Yeah.
So I have a bob. It's yes, it has a little burgundy tint, especially in the sun, and that's courtesy of a rinse I use in the shower.
Jewelry.
Oh, yes, jewelry. So I have these very cute cocoa-centric earrings.
Cocoa-centric.
Yes. And I
Yes.
also have the matching.
Oh, you sure do.
Yes, I have the matching necklace.
That's a beautiful
cowrie
set.
shell. Yes. and-
Cowrie shells are very powerful.
Yes.
Yeah. So I bought a few things when I met the owner. Yes, Latoya at our at the event with Amber.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Latoya was there.
That's
Yes,
where I met
that's where I met
her,
you
and
too.
yes.
Yes.
And I said, "Oh, you make jewelry? Sign me up. I'm
Yeah.
a shopper,
Yeah.
so I'm going shopping."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she has beautiful things, and so please go and look her up.
Absolutely.
Cococentric.
I'm wearing Cococentric earrings as well.
Oh.
Sponsored by.
Right.
Some gold jewelry to accent my bright pink turtleneck.
Yes.
My black blazer, my what do you call those jeans with the flare bottom, and my
Boots.
black booties, I guess.
Booties.
Yeah.
Suede,
Booties.
black
Suede
suede booties.
I love the little cut on them.
Right, and sometimes it kind of folds down and it looks really cute.
Yeah,
and
you
I'm
can
like,
have the perfect little jean flop.
exactly. What else?
Beautiful hair. Are we not going to talk about
Oh
your
yeah,
hair?
beautiful curly hair. I did the small curls today, so very fluffy. And my pretty new nails that I just got, peach.
Matchy.
Yes,
Yeah,
I am.
they're very pretty.
Again,
They're
for the
very
Feet Finder audience, the matching toe.
Yes.
The pedicure, manicure match.
Yes. You failed to mention that you have a matching toe.
I do have a match. Yes. And I think that's it for me.
Well, thank you both for doing that. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely. And thank you for bringing that to top of mind.
Yeah.
It's not something that's top of mind for me, but I'm really glad that you
mentioned
that. So we can do that.
That's part of this whole initial question. I love a tangent. I'm a Virgo. Let's go on a journey. Right?
Okay.
We'll go there. But it's one of the reasons of how I'm here today. So later this summer, I'll be celebrating 9 years of knowing I'm disabled, but I've been disabled my entire life. The conditions I live with are genetic, and for the FOMOs, either in the room or tuning in, I have this incredibly rare condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It's incredibly rare because it's really misdiagnosed and underdiagnosed. There's 13 types of it. The type I have, there's about 30 studied cases. Less than 1 in a million people have it. So I have a rare version of a rare thing. What the Ehlers-Danlos syndromes mean is that our bodies don't know how to process collagen, and collagen is in everything in your body: your bones, your ligaments, arteries, your blood vessels, like every single thing. And so, for me and the type that I have, it means my joints love to dislocate, but really love to partially dislocate. So, that's why you see this brace on, because my thumb is not staying in place right now. So this is keeping it in place so I can do all the things. I have a lot of pain. I live in a lot of chronic pain. I cut easily, I bruise easily, but for my type, it makes my body think I'm having a heart attack every day because the arteries in my heart just close for no reason. Any time of the day, they will just close, cause chest pain. I can have a heart attack and die at any moment in time. So I give none of the fucks. Good. I really, because I can't, and also I don't want to. So it is one of the reasons with why I'm a very proud, unapologetic Black disabled woman because of this health stuff. But to get to here, founder and CEO of Change Cadet, we are a creative organizational development consulting firm and owner of pro sports teams. So the Oakland Roots pro men's soccer team, Oakland Soul semi-pro women's soccer team, Project 510 is a development league. And an author of a book, my book, White Supremacy is All Around, and host of Humane Rights. All of that is because I was a very good child of an immigrant, and I got all the degrees I was supposed to get because we are very proud Haitian people. Yes. The week of Haitian Flag Day, so we're very extra this week.
Yes.
On top of our
is
normal
it Haitian
extraness.
Flag Day?
A couple days ago.
The 18th.
The 18th.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I did what I was supposed to do. So I have 3 degrees. I'm probably too smart. I was a public health practitioner. Originally, it was pre-med. Didn't like the politics of insurance. I love blood and surgeries and all of that fun stuff. I'm into it. But I didn't like the politics. I couldn't be the physician I would want to be in those systems. And I already knew 17, 18, 19 that as a Black woman having my own practice, it would be very hard and very expensive to do. I wouldn't be able to have the quality of life I would want to have. And the list goes on. And so I went the path of health administration. So I was a health administrator for 15 years.
Wow.
And that's where all the white supremacy really shined. So I was too young or too smart, too young, too funny, too pretty, young, smart, but how can you do them all? That makes no sense. And I did all the things white people wanted me to do. I got the Master's of Public Health, so I would get value and respect being in a leadership position. Sure. That didn't work. I got the doctorate in leadership and organizational behavior. That didn't work. Now they're calling me doctor, though, but still questioning me. And so in my last 9-to-5 job, it was a very, very big health system, top floor, really feeling like the Olivia Pope of diversity. When people cared about diversity, that was me. Power suit, great outfits, all the things, views of the bay. The heels, clickety-clackety, you know? Yes. I was having a one-on-one meeting with my boss, white guy, mid-60s, and he looked at me and said, I didn't think you were that smart when I interviewed you.
Yikes.
But you are smart. And I was like, what the fuck? Because, and in my head, being the logical Virgo that I am, it's like, wait, on the application, yes, I did. This is a doctoral preferred, yes. And every single presentation I had to do, multiple presentations. Like, Dr. Akilah, here's my what I know, what I'm coming from a health system that's larger than this one, but a higher position, and here I am thinking the whole time, I actually had a position where I was going to be valued for all that hard work.
Yes. Right.
And I wasn't. So then why did you hire me?
Right.
So I asked him, why did you say that? Yeah. Like, I don't understand. What does that mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I guess it's offensive. I'm sorry. And I was like, it's
guess?
Incredibly offensive. What? And I told him, I was like, I'm going to have to rebuild my trust with you because that was hurtful. And so the way he rebuilt our trust is he fired me the next week.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Of course.
Because he then saw a threat. And rightfully so.
Okay, legally,
because
get it, lawyer. Listen, I know.
Because I'm all about, look, if you have a valid legal claim, sue them.
Well,
Let me say it again.
What do you think I did?
Sue them.
Why do you think I have such great shoes?
Yeah. We don't sue enough.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's really important to do that.
It is very important to exercise your right and your access to these legal systems, even though they aren't built for us. But at the end of the day, the only way we really effectuate change is when we hit them in their pocketbook.
Absolutely. And that is exactly what I did. I knew because I read.
Yeah.
I knew I was fired illegally.
Yep.
And so they had to rehire me because they fired me illegally to fire me the right way. I went to court, depositions. I did all of the things. Took years, but I did it because there's this thing that people may not know. I know you do. It's called case law.
Yep.
And case law is really I can't stress the importance of case law for future women of color in particular, to be able to have grounds to sue. Right. So I did all the things. I'm the child of a lawyer. So I filed with the Equal Employment Opportunities Commission.
Right.
If you file there, it's also for the Department of Fair and Equal Housing. It's the one thing. You don't do DFA because you have to do both. So do in the federal government and applies for state.
Yes.
I received my letter that gave me the opportunity to sue. Right. For the right to sue. And I followed that process. I also found a great lawyer who just was the one white guy who was like, no, you're absolutely right. So I'm not going to charge you anything.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Which is great. And it was a horrible experience. My health stuff actually started at that time.
Yeah.
I had a deposition with a heart monitor on. That was very fun. But I'm glad that I did it. Yeah. It was also the nail in that guy's coffin because he was let go. Yeah. It took a year, but he was let go.
Yeah.
You know,
he wasn't promoted.
Right. Now, I think the other thing that's really important for anyone to know is that when you are a woman of color and you sue an employer, they need to know if it was racism or sexism.
Right.
They cannot figure out both of them. Right. Even though Kimberly Crenshaw in 1989 gave us, intersectionality, and we know the cases that are out there, particularly with Ford Motors and women and Black women and all that other stuff, they still don't know. And that's what made my case hard because they couldn't decide
which it was.
Right? So yes, when I left the office, as I'm walking out of his office, he would say, nice skirt. So we know,
I mean, are you interested? Do you want to borrow it?
Right.
I mean, why are you commenting on my skirt?
When I'm leaving.
Right.
So you're not commenting on my skirt.
Gross.
Because I came in. Listen, I know my outfit is great. Everyone else is a +1. You can say that.
Yeah.
But if you're commenting when you see my backside, you can't just be like, oh, by the way, I understand. I have the hips, the ass, and the tits. I'm aware with what I have them out right now. Right. I know what I'm working with.
Right.
But again, even if it doesn't feel good, if people have the capacity to do so, always sue.
Yeah.
Always sue.
I mean, I'm just an advocate for people standing up for themselves.
Yeah.
And for holding people responsible.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do it, it continues. And that guy I'm sure it wasn't the first time he had said some crazy, racist or sexist stuff. But, hopefully through your lawsuit, it's the last time.
Well, yeah, he's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Which I feel very good about. But
Yeah.
that's honestly how I ended up here, because I was like, I need to make sure I did all the things.
Yeah.
I did all the things I was supposed to do. I had 3
Checked
degrees.
all the
I have light skin
boxes.
privilege. I'm a non-threatening Black person. I sound white to individuals, even
Mhm.
though it's not a real thing. I sound
Yeah.
like a fucking American,
Right.
which I am. And again, someone who has 3 degrees, right?
Right.
I did all the things. And if I have all the tools to do all the things and I was treated the way I was treated, someone who has less degree or experience or a deeper, beautiful complexion, they're not going to have the same opportunity as
No.
me. And so literally when I was fired illegally, that year I started my consulting firm, because I was doing it as a side hustle. I didn't go full-time into it because I was tired.
Yeah.
I did my doctoral program full-time. The program was 4 to 7 years. I did it in 3. I was working full-time and I was doing that. So I just wanted to make 6 figures somewhere else.
Yeah.
And just find little projects. And when I was ready, go full-time and doing my own thing. And so
Yeah.
I just rolled into doing my own thing. And that's how Change Cadet was born, and that's how I'm the activist that I am now and the change maker I am now. So
That's the perfect segue
Wow.
into my next question. As the founder and CEO of Change Cadet, as you say, I'll say Cadet because,
I know.
Education.
I know. It's funny.
Yeah.
So I'm also French on my mom's side.
Oh.
So
okay.
I'm super voodoo, as I like to say.
Yes.
But yeah, so we have more cadet than Americans
cadet.
cadet it.
Yeah.
But cadet would be more of our Creole.
Proper.
Yeah. Yeah. But I also have people in my family who say it a completely different way.
Differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Americans would say cadet,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
We say cadet,
Yeah.
and then French would say,
Well, to me, it's like change today, like change cadet.
oh.
Right. So
nice.
for folks who
I'm
don't
so
know.
glad you said
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So folks who don't
Yes.
know, cadet means soldier,
Yes. A
right?
cadet.
So I'm literally a soldier of change.
Yes.
That's what I do, and I didn't want any of this. And my
Yeah.
first name is Arabic. It means intelligent girl who reasons. And I was like, why? I have a twin sister. Her name is Adeze. It means princess. I was like, why do I have to
Why
have
do I
why?
burn it all?
But my parents are right, so you know.
They gave you the perfect name.
They really did. It's
Yeah,
so
for
beautifully
who you
spelled as
become.
well, and it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So what led you to really start Change Cadet?
Yeah, well, again, I always wanted a consulting firm. I knew I would want to have my own business, especially after all the school I did. I was like, oof, I can't work for the man forever.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to see, in that first year, I was not quite done with my doctorate, but almost done, ABD stuff. And I wanted to see if there was value in all this education I received.
Yes.
Because in the 9-to-5 space, people were telling me too much, like what I was saying earlier. And when I started doing my own projects, people were like, this is so helpful. Without you, we couldn't get to here. I would have never thought of these things. And I was
Yes.
like, oh my God, I have value.
Yeah.
Like I have value in myself, but I want to be able to have value in society and community,
Yes.
the workplace, the spaces and places, right? And so it was working, and I thought that was wild. I also knew that I could not be in the healthcare world forever.
Yeah.
Public health and healthcare, I'm glad I was there, but it is a horrific place to be.
Yeah.
And I know too much.
Yeah.
I know how the sausage is made, which is why I'm a great patient advocate for my own self. I also say I'm the CEO of my body, navigating disability. I have 20 plus conditions. 6 of them are rare. I didn't only shared one with you today, but so there's a lot to navigate on that side. And so I wanted to be able to contribute, and I wanted other people to never feel the way I felt. And if they did, what could I do to fix that? So individually, for a leader, a celebrity, or for a culture,
Yes.
a space, a place, or a brand. And so that's how I got into it. And things have just continually grown and evolved from when I first started. It was definitely more strategy. And then Murder George Floyd days, it was crisis management.
Right.
Because so many people were fucking up.
Yeah.
Right? That led into
Right.
strategy. I was a fractional lead of building so many diversity programs for big companies and brands. And now today I definitely do more joyful things like creative work and storytelling and marketing and PR. But we've always been full spectrum, and I've always been full spectrum because as a fellow Earth sign, I have groundedness in being able to be in lots of different places and spaces. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just jumping in because I have so many questions.
Well, I'm here.
And you
so.
talked, I know, we're so thankful too.
I know, absolutely.
Because you talked about, a few things that are so relevant right now, which is, DEI the rollbacks that we've been seeing. And, that shift.
Significant.
Very significant. And then also, dismantling white supremacy through your storytelling is a really big part of your work. So how do we connect those two to understand, like, what's going on right now through that lens with all that we see in this crazy world right now?
So I don't have the privilege to not disconnect them.
Yeah.
Right. And I bring that up because, one, there are lots of white women who've done culture work, strategy work, DEI work, change work, who were also equally busy during the murder of George Floyd days. Right. And they still are today. They may have a reduction in work. They may have lost some staff, but they're still busy. Why? Because they don't carry the demographics of what people see as diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, whatever acronym soup they want to use. But when people look at me, they're like, oh, she's something. She's Black.
Yeah.
When they look at me, they're like, oh, she's disabled, if they could tell, or they know, because I'm publicly disabled.
Very, yes.
I'm also openly Black as well.
Yes.
Right? So they can see these things. So there are these visual cues where it says, like, oh, she can't do white people things. And it's hilarious because strategy is strategy.
Yeah.
And a little secret, DEI is also strategy.
Yes.
DEI is organizational change. It's strategy. It's like, it's organizational development.
Right.
It's change management.
Yes.
Right. So clearly I can help with a new launch or new program or restructure or build. But because of this body that I live in, people are like, well, she's just DEI and we can't do that anymore because it's illegal from our federal sources, or it's no longer allowed because our board is whatever that thing is. And so, different spaces and places. But even if I tried, I am not the first chapter of the book, which is white women are exhausting. I can't separate my ethnicity from my identity, my gender, right?
No. Right.
No.
White women can. And so they can white it all day and they're fine. They white it all day and vote for Donald Trump. They white it all day and justify James David and Pete and the whole crew. So I refer to everyone in the Republican MAGA administration by their first name. There's a 2018 study that shows if you refer to someone by their first name, they are not qualified to do their job. That's why Kamala was Kamala.
Right.
And Trump was Trump, right? This typically happens for women, and women are called their first names in leadership positions.
Right.
And not men. So James David, Pete, Bill,
Donald.
Donald.
Yeah.
That's why I love when I read your posts and it says Donald. That,
I'll say Donald. I can't even Trump. I will say Donald Trump sometimes so
I'm
people
going to do it
understand
now.
what I'm saying. But
I'm definitely going to do it.
I do that. So that brings back to the other side. And the name of my book, white supremacy is all around.
Yes.
It is all around. And so for order for me to be a successful entrepreneur, I have to navigate white supremacy. I can't just pretend like it's not there.
Yes.
Sure.
I know it's there. So I know if I'm asked to be the keynote speaker somewhere, if I'm hired by a big brand to lead a offsite or something, that people will think I'm the assistant or not Dr. Cadet.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I am a woman, a disabled person, or a person of color, Black person, right? And so I can't not do both. And so if we really want to get to a place where we can get back to humanity and people can have opportunities for upward mobility in the workplace, and women of all ethnicities, even white women, can thrive, right?
Right.
We have to dismantle the oppressive structures in which we are in.
Right.
And a lot of people don't want to connect the dots because they don't want to say these two words, white supremacy.
Yeah.
Because that's uncomfortable for a lot of people.
Yeah.
We ourselves have to dismantle white supremacy. The way you were treated is different from the way I'm treated, which is different from the way you're treated because of our privilege and our power that we've received for ourselves.
Yes.
Right? So you are an entrepreneur, you own a magazine. You are a lawyer, you both are podcast hosts. I'm also a podcast. I own a bit, right? We have these things that put us in positions of power, but we still have to deal with bias, stereotypes, other people's feelings and emotions, the systems and structures that don't want us to shine. And yet here we are looking cute as fuck. You know, doing it.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Shining. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that perspective.
Well, thank you. But you said something really important when you were interviewing Amber Ruffin, which was how you are in an environment and has all the things of white supremacy. And you're using your power and privilege in such a great way. Okay, well, this is what we should not do. And if you do want me to do that and you feel like I'm not a team player, then let me go.
Yes.
Right? And you're using the systems and structures, which I think is incredibly powerful to do. It's right up there with the lawsuit.
Yes.
Right? And holding and owning that power in that space and place.
It's exhausting, though.
What? No, it's not.
No,
I'm kidding.
No, totally not. I mean, I feel like I'm fighting, every day, because that's
You are.
every day, it just kind of smacks me in the face what I'm dealing with. And every day I push back against that constantly. And it gets really, really exhausting.
Are you open to some feedback?
Sure. Absolutely.
So I don't fight. I gave up fighting a long time ago. I speak the truth.
Yeah.
If they can't handle that, that's their problem.
Right.
Fighting means I'm putting this energy into this thing.
Yeah.
And there's a back and forth. But there's no back and forth because I actually know I'm right.
Right.
And you proved that so well
Right,
the other day.
And that helps with I am tired. I want you to know I'm very tired. I am over it. But it helps a little bit, right?
Yeah.
With that exhaustion level.
Yeah.
I
Right.
want to marry up. I want to focus on the projects I want to focus on.
Right.
Or someone bequeath whatever money to me
Yes.
or whatever you want to do. Write me a fucking check. I would love to do that. I would still be an activist. I'm not going to do that. But I cannot rest in this country.
I know.
I cannot
Yeah.
rest in this country.
Yeah.
I know.
We were just talking about that earlier, how we feel that, a lot of people, like we're both, I think the three of us are very much, activists and we want to see change and we're going to fight for it. Right. But we talk about, I'm like, why is this country not in fire right now with what's happened over the last 2 weeks? Never mind the last year, never mind the last 10 years. Right. Why isn't it on fire right now? Like, why? And she sent me something this morning that was like, okay, calm down.
What was it? How did you calm down?
It's just
I haven't.
I think it was a little bit of an explanation to, why maybe we see some people that
Disconnect.
seem like they're just going along like everything is normal, right? Everything is not normal.
No.
Well, it is normal too. The majority of people in America, that's the thing that I don't think people really want to understand.
Well, yes, but I'm saying to like maybe other Black people.
Yeah, okay.
Because there's some that
Who didn't vote for Donald Trump.
Right. Those people who don't seem to be as engaged as, I think we all should be, or as outraged and as fired up. And it was just saying, like, goes back to kind of what I think the whole goal is that if people are first maybe not healthy, or they're
Struggling financially.
focused on working and putting food on the table and surviving, then oftentimes they don't have that extra energy or time to focus on the fact that they should be up in arms, and that the powers that be are taking advantage of them, fleecing them, getting over on them, right?
Taking away their opportunity. And
is why I can't really understand people that have an issue with the word woke. I don't understand why you have an issue with that. Because if somebody wants you to be asleep, which is the opposite of woke, that person wants to take advantage of you. If I tell you, look, no, I just want you to go to sleep.
Relax.
That means I have some plans to take advantage of you. So why
creeping through the night.
Right.
Yes.
Why the heck would I want to be woken. Now I'm staying awake because you know what I'm saying?
You want to be aware.
You want to be aware. You want to be, and so for me, that's just, it's just it's ignorance. But in any case, yeah.
That's why education is so important. And not education like going to Stanford or Harvard, but education being having access to,
Critical
reading,
thinking.
things
Yes.
like reading, like you said, I read,
So important.
you learn and you discover things, travel, right? You discover other cultures and other things
But
that are
you
not necessarily
are
at the
an
forefront.
immigrant, my friend.
Yeah.
Americans don't do that.
They don't travel.
Which is why...
Was it less than 50% have a passport?
Right.
If that?
Like, and that to me, so even though I'm born here, I'm a very proud California girl.
Yes.
I was raised like an immigrant.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I judge Americans. And then I'm like, bitch, that's you too. Right? Like I have to check myself. But
Right.
it is wild to me that there's people who've never
left
the
their,
country.
even their little towns.
And if you
sometimes.
go to Canada
Yeah.
or Mexico, I also feel like that doesn't count. Thank you. That's a great, lovely start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you just went to Niagara Falls, you didn't even hear French.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
and to like not own I've had a passport since I was a baby. Why?
Right,
Because I had to go
right.
to Haiti.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Get
Yeah.
approval.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
whole thing, right? And so it's not the norm here. So we're at a deficit.
Yeah.
So Americans forget that there are also immigrants because that's what happened to found this country.
Yes.
Right, in 1776, right?
Yeah.
To do that whole thing. And they wanted to be different, but things are pretty much the same. We're the baby colonizer. British Empire is the OG colonizer.
Yes.
We're
Yeah.
the
Yes.
baby
The OG.
colonizer.
Yeah, they are definitely the OGs.
Yeah.
But we're definitely right on in there. Like
course.
we're not super different.
Right, but
On
Americans,
paper, maybe.
Yeah.
Because we're not a monarchy or constitutional monarchy.
Yes.
We're
But
supposed
Americans
to be
don't know what a homogeneous country
I know,
is. And
exactly.
most countries are homogeneous.
Right.
Yes.
They don't understand that.
No.
Right.
So even like going to Hawaii territory is interesting for some Americans.
Yes.
Because there's like another language and a lot of culture of people. And there's people who are mad that they're there.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a new thing. But if they go to Thailand, they're like, what?
Yeah.
I know.
Haiti. What's like?
Yes.
Anytime I go to Caribbean island, I'm like, oh, look, a white.
Yes.
Wow, look, this is
Interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
Like it's fun to see. But a lot of Americans don't have that experience, and so
True.
I say that because that takes away from their critical thinking because they don't know what it's like to spend a summer in a different country. They don't know
Right.
what it's like to have people speaking different languages in their family or bringing in different cultures
Sure.
in their family. Like if you come from a privileged family in Haiti, that means you have family in America, probably New York or France.
Yes.
Mhm.
And that's because they went for education.
Mm-hmm.
That's the normal pathway for us, but
Or
that's not the
Canada,
pathway, or
right.
Canada. It's like the third.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and then there's the Bostons, the Miamis, and all that other
Right.
stuff. But that's because even that family was different. So that family most likely spoke Creole, French, knew some English to be
And
able
Spanish.
or Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad
It's
speaks
Dominican
all of them,
Republic. Yeah.
right? To go into that space, there was a privilege part that's in there. American families don't have that.
No.
Right.
They're just like, okay,
We speak
maybe go to
English.
college,
Speak our language.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not
Right.
learning a different language. They're not learning a different culture.
No.
They're not understanding that there's more than their city.
Like I
Yeah.
always say,
Or
there's like
county.
a big world out there.
There is a big world. Yeah. And so then this stuff gets harder because we're talking about larger issues,
Mhm.
but they
The
barely
basics.
understand how America happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? So I have to educate Americans all the time. One of my most viral posts was reminding people that Puerto Rico
Is
is part
of the U.S.
of the United
Well,
States of
our
America.
president didn't know that he was the president.
But
of
that's
Puerto
proving
Rico.
my point.
So
That's an
I mean,
American.
It's sad though, because okay, I'm American, right?
It's
And I'm
okay. Welcome
Black,
in.
I think.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're there. Yes, I understand. There are a lot of us as Americans that are stuck in our little towns
Yeah.
or cities, and the worldview is so American centric, right?
Mhm.
Meaning they see everything
Hollywood.
through the lens
New York City.
of America,
Yes,
right?
yes.
As opposed to when you do start to, well, just read, which is I'm a huge advocate of reading.
Yeah.
Read, learn, expand your mind. Be curious and try to understand how, did we get here to where we are now. And I don't know that we do a great job of that here in this country, of even just educating our kids, our youth, right? And I think that that's by design. Because
Agreed.
if you have a population that's highly educated, that can think critically, they are not going to allow
what is
the
happening?
powers that
Yes.
be.
Why we don't have outrage. If we were in a different country,
Yes.
things would be burning down right
Yes.
now.
Right. Yes.
Right.
Agreed.
There would
Right.
be violence in the streets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Happening. And we've seen that with lots of other countries.
Oh, yeah.
And we're seeing that more now with AI, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And how AI is being used in a way to help people not be in that position of critical thinking
Yes.
Right.
and education and understanding and advocacy, which is why we are important. The way in which we show up in the world,
Right.
is important. But these conversations, these dialogues are really important for people to keep learning and unlearning.
Right.
Because if you don't, then you vote for Donald Trump.
Right. And then you vote for him, and then you vote against yourself
And your interests.
Yes.
and your own, your own interests,
Your kids, your grandkids,
Your partner.
upcoming
Right.
That's one of my
generations.
favorites.
You're
Well, I
right.
didn't think my partner would be deported.
It's so hard to understand for me because
I'm over it.
defies
No.
logic, right?
Mhm.
Like, it just goes against
Mm-hmm.
basic logic. So
Yeah.
it's really difficult to understand, but it's a little bit like racism as well, because
Mhm.
racism also goes against logic, and it's kind of akin to a mental illness, right? As well as
because there's gaslighting.
Yes.
It's a personal belief.
Mhm.
right.
It's pretending like you don't see someone right in front of you.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that we know is a form of microaggression
Mhm.
or just good old fashioned covert racism, whichever way people want to call it. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean it's all the same, which is why dismantling white supremacy is really important.
Yes.
Because that embodies all of those things. White supremacy can't live if people are educated.
That's true. I
No.
agree.
No.
And
No.
so how do you do that in like your work with brands and your work with, organizations that, they don't realize that they uphold the white supremacy. They don't realize
system.
that they're a part of the system that is upholding this. How do we navigate, opening their eyes to that?
A lot of story time. So I was a preschool teacher in undergrad,
Oh,
and that's how I work with white men.
I don't know why I laughed.
You're like, everybody sit down.
Yeah, we
I'm
got to
just-
use your words right now. It's not playtime. It's not playtime.
Right. I know.
It's not playtime.
Yeah.
Snack time is coming up if we follow the rules, right? So like it's literally
I love it. I love
it's
it.
literally that. So there was a big brand that I worked with. There was a crisis and emergency because a Black customer service person was called the N-word.
Mm.
Okay.
And a active person chatbot. So the Black person was, the chatbot person, not the bot, but the actual person.
Mhm.
And their picture, it was an actual chat person. I have to be very clear, not an
Yes.
AI
Not-
thing,
not
right?
Oh, yeah,
bot,
like a
yeah.
real person.
So the white customer was like N-word, blah, blah, blah. So they're like, what do we do? Their employees like,
How do you know they're N-word if you're on the chat?
because there was a picture.
There's a picture.
Oh.
It's
of
an
the
actual person. So before this whole AI, this is a while ago. So
Yeah.
before the whole AI boom,
Yeah.
you could chat with an actual
person,
person,
yeah.
right?
Okay, so it's not just
Yeah.
that little guy with the headphones
Yes.
Exactly.
on, right?
It was a real
Actual person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's how the N-word came up. They didn't know what to do. The employee was clearly bothered by that
Sure.
because,
As you
As you
should
should
when
be.
you're there to help someone, you're like not expecting to get the word that, someone heard before they were
Mhm.
lynched, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, so what do we do? The leadership team, all white, take a time to process that. I know it's a shocker. All white people running this company. And so they're like, Dr. Cadet, what do we do? And then, we're on a Zoom or whatever, and they like put the screenshot up and we're sitting in a problem solving of how to do that. And the first thing is like, tell me what's going on with the employee, because we have to make sure the employee's fine.
That's always
They
number
actually,
one.
yeah, and they did the right things. And I was like, okay, great, fantastic. And then what are we going to do with this person as part of a membership thing? Because technically their membership rules, they're breaking them. That person should be removed, you know,
Right.
blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
And then, so, you know, we're going in problem solving. So then emergency solved. Then we have a follow-up meeting and following up on the incident. And I had to do this. Hey, so you open to some feedback? Oh my God, of course, Dr. Cadet. So I'm also a Black person.
Yeah.
And y'all left the N-word up for the whole meeting. And, well, you should have said something. That wasn't my job at the moment because I had to take care of y'all. Right? And then I knew the time I would do it is right now. I'm telling you right now. So in that moment of you wanting to protect your staff, you forgot that I'm of the same identity.
Because
and it was also a Black woman who was harmed, obviously, customer service, because Black women solve everything.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Right? And so I had to use that as a teaching moment with how they move forward. See, to them, that word means nothing but power.
Yes.
But to me, it means murder, harm, death, threat, ancestral trauma.
Yes.
Right? And they don't understand that. So I have to bring that down. And then by sharing that, that's how they're learning and unlearning. And then I go and take that same story and I tell a future client when that word comes up again about the story and how to interact and the levels of me and that person and the team and how they learned further. They were learning and unlearning further. And so it's a lot. And that's why I wrote a book. It's a lot of my stories in there.
Yeah.
Stories of my lived experience, stories from people, stories from clients and customers to help navigate the system.
Yeah.
And then second to that is always reminding people they're white.
Yeah. I know, because it's a foregone conclusion for them. Like, they don't have to think about it. Like, they probably don't think about it, you know, in their daily life.
Well, they don't have to.
They don't have to.
That's
They
the
don't have
privilege
to.
there.
They don't
is
have
that
to.
you don't
So
have
I have
to
to remind
think
them
about it.
So I always have to tell white people, you don't know what you don't know. And guess what? Everyone doesn't know what they don't know.
What they don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But once you do,
You have to.
you
put
have
it in
to
practice.
decide if you want to lean into being racist, homophobic, transphobic, xenophobic,
Right.
any of the isms, obvious, or if you want to dismantle that.
Right.
So
Learn
if
and
you are
unlearn.
fine with, you know, racist comments on your social media and you're fine with that, then 100% lean into that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you don't tolerate that
you.
behavior because you wrote this whole policy that you hired me to help you write, then you can't tolerate that behavior. So you have to do something about it.
Right.
So little white girl who's managing her social media account has to either remove the post or you have a standardized post and you put the, you know, the comment, you remove, you know, you block the part. You have to have a
You
process
have to
for
do
that.
the
Right.
learn
Yes.
and
But the
unlearn.
biggest offenders won't surprise anyone. The beauty industry. Because shade inclusion is not a thing.
Yeah.
Right? So we have Rihanna done a tremendous job with Fenty. I have the privilege to say I've worked with them, which I love, but they didn't really need me. But I was just there to be like, okay, let's work on these future things no one knows anything about. But most beauty brands and a lot of the crises I received were from beauty brands who would launch a product and it wouldn't work. It would work for us, but maybe not you.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Because they were so excited about this cream blush, but it doesn't work. They're so excited about this foundation, but you know, it's those types of things. And so a lot of it is going back into the systems and structures to say, okay, so you don't even in testing, you're not even testing on different tones.
Yeah.
You're not testing on different tones?
Yeah. This used to bother me so
God, I remember the
much.
90s. Jesus.
Just back, you know, even like as a teenager and whatever.
Yeah.
And so my mother, you know, was several shades darker than me, and my sister as well, right? And so what works on me never worked on them.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we just, it just always annoyed me. Like we go, you know, it's like, oh, they don't have a shade for my mom or they don't have a shade for my sister. And I'm the only one. They're like, oh, well, you can, you know, you can have it. You can wear it because it only works on
For
me.
you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know, this really is pissing me off.
Yeah,
because like, why shouldn't my mom and my sister be able to find something that works for them as well. Why didn't you think about them? I didn't have any choice with the skin tone I came out,
Yeah.
my sister and I both have the same parents, and I just
Came out
came
lighter.
out like this, right?
Which is why the Cosby Show is so important.
Yes.
For people, because they're like, but
why is she so
different
light?
from how is, and then
it's yes, I mean, it's very.
The oldest sister was really, really light skinned.
Denise.
Yeah, Denise. And Sandra.
Denise and Sandra. Yeah.
Too.
But, and then
Thingy's mom.
Rudy and Vanessa and Theo.
Yes. They were very different.
Right.
Brown. Yeah.
But it's all, but that was so hopeful.
Yes.
For us, for people to understand how that whole thing that works.
All the
genetics.
Yeah.
It's called genetics.
It's called genetics.
It's called genetics.
It's you get 50% of your DNA from one parent, 50% from another, and which 50% you don't.
Up
it
in
could
the
be
air.
different.
Oh, so
in
I'm
every child.
As a twin, I have a fraternal twin. I won the genetics lotto with all this disability stuff. She's fine, right? And it's like it's the 50-50 split thing that can happen, right? In the fusion, but this is shade representation is so easy.
It really is.
And when people don't do it, they're literally
testing.
choosing white supremacy.
Yes.
Because there's product developers, they're designing, there's a checklist. There's so many checklists I have at so many brands to help them when they're thinking about ideating a product that they're bringing the right people in.
Right.
And if you don't want to have them in there for designing the product, when you're testing, you have to figure it out.
Yeah.
100%.
I would get brands who would fuck up with a launch and they'd come and they'd say like, okay, well, we messed up. But you also messed up with your last launch.
Yeah.
So you're not learning from it.
You
You're
didn't
making
learn
a choice,
anything.
right, of what you want to do. And then it's also down to even product shoots too.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yes.
who's in the shoot that you're displaying the product on, right? And so this is why I will be a stan for Rihanna all day, every day. Because when she dropped Fenty, this is before I worked with them, I was like, I'm going to support a fellow Caribbean. I don't really wear makeup, but let me see what this is all about.
Right.
I went to Sephora, which is the equivalent of Home Depot for me.
Yes.
I don't like it, don't want to be there.
I know.
At all. I know it brings joy to a lot of people, and I love that
Yes.
for them. But for me, it's very like overwhelming.
It's
and
a lot of choices. It's
a lot of
true.
choices.
Yeah.
But I went and I was like looking at the shades and stuff. And there was someone who had this beautiful deep complexion. And they took like one of the the shade sticks, put it on her skin, and then she just immediately started crying. And she looked at me and she was like, look. And I was like,
God.
this is great. I'm like, you deserve, I was so happy for her.
Yes.
I know.
You know, and I understand the privilege I have because I could get something at CVS still that would match, you know.
Right.
But for her to have the moment that I've had my whole life, I was like, wow, that's special. And it's important to note that Rihanna is a light bright.
Yes.
she is.
She is a fluorescent beige. She didn't have to do
She's
that.
actually very, very light.
Yeah. And for her to do that is an example of power and privilege.
Yes.
And so many beauty brands, I'm like,
Hello.
it's possible.
Example.
It's definitely possible. But still, even after Fenty, we have brands that have still done horrific things.
Yes.
You know, just a lack of stage representation.
Yeah. And for me, now it's just willful. Like it's willful.
There's so many resources and tools, right?
Yeah, just the privilege that they have.
Yeah, and it's also that there's a lot of decisions that brands make, and I just go, gosh, there's no Black people in the room, huh?
I don't know.
You couldn't
even find a quarter,
a
half.
You couldn't. You couldn't run this
anything.
Yeah, you couldn't have ran this by any Black
There's
person.
always, but there was a time, again, the Murder George Floyd days where I was a lot of that person to be in the room, and I was happy to be there, but I was just the consultant. I wasn't on the team. I wasn't the employee. I was just the, hey guys.
Right.
Hey everyone. Hey folks. Hey ladies. You know, like doing the little friendly reminders to get folks on track. And so getting to where we are today, to have someone like Donald Trump in office, that gives all these brands, celebrities, companies permission to no longer care about shade representation.
100.
Or no longer care about representation.
Period.
Of course.
Representation in their companies. But not only that, to no longer care, in the way I feel about it, is about the people who are from diverse backgrounds in your company. Because you just slap them in the face. And so
while
you
appropriating.
don't
Yeah.
And you don't, so all you want from them clearly is just give me all of your energy, your time, your
Creative
work, your,
creativity.
creativity, just so we can profit off of that.
We can
But we're
appropriate
not
it.
going to even give you respect in return.
Yeah.
And guess what? That shit is for the birds. We're not doing that.
No.
Because I'm this year, I'm on what you're on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So you're so you don't care about me? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't care about you either.
I live a blocked and unbothered life.
That's
So,
that's it. I can't care more about you than you are willing to care about me.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people are.
Whether it's family or
Yeah, but especially when it comes to these companies who are slapping their employees in the face, and you still want all of the best work out of these people. No.
I remember that when I moved here. So we moved here in 1990. I was 13 or 15. Anyway, close enough.
I was a teenager.
I was a teenager.
In the 90s. Oof,
I know. Concord, California. Probably when I was 18, 19, I started doing extra work because I really wanted to go into performing arts and acting and stuff like that. And I showed up on the set. It was of the movie Bicentennial Man. And they were doing my makeup, and they didn't have a shade for me. And I had brought my makeup with me because I had found my own shade. And she put the makeup on, and I looked in the mirror and I said, no, you're going to have to use this because this doesn't work for me. And this was what, 90, probably like 96, 97.
Did she try to put you in a burgundy color lipstick?
Yes.
Because
and then
they thought they
how
used
did you
to
know?
listen.
that was the lip.
And they think that that Black women can only wear
red lipstick.
like a burgundy, or
sometimes I
this
could read
thing.
a little bit more fuchsia.
Yeah,
it just
but
depends.
they
But yeah.
always go for that color, like as if none of the other colors can, but they look beautiful on different, deeper skin tones. But here they come with this burgundy. If you don't go away from me with this burgundy lip.
And the worst thing is I have a darker upper lip than lower lip.
Yeah.
So if I wear lipstick, you have to do the trick to make it look right. So it was like the upper lip was darker with the red, and then the lower lip was lighter with the red. So I looked like a clown, and I went back into makeup and I said, no. And she started doing it, and then she called whoever over, and they were like, yeah, it's fine. And then I literally went to the bathroom and I redid my makeup.
Oh my gosh.
course.
And when I showed up on the set, they had to yell cut to go, wait, the makeup doesn't match the scene or whatever it was. So it's ingrained in this like American culture.
Not considered.
Yeah.
It's just their view is through the white lens and the white gaze.
100%.
And so just to come out of that a little bit and think about, there's a Black, woman I'm going to be working on today. Let me think about and think intentionally about what might work for her skin. That probably never happened. And it's happening today. My niece is a model, and she models for big brands. And I don't know how many times she's like, they don't have a shade,
to
for
this
me.
day, like,
or they
seriously.
try to put me in this, shade looks ashy.
Yeah.
And, they never have anybody who knows how to do her hair ever. And she's ends up having to do her own hair and her own makeup. And these are huge brands.
Right.
That's
unacceptable.
She's not getting paid to do her hair and makeup.
No,
She's getting paid to model.
Exactly.
Right. And this is 2026. And you guys can't figure this out?
Exactly.
But it's the purposeful erasure that maintains white supremacy.
Yes.
Because it's not the first time. You know this. You've gotten feedback. You just don't care.
Yeah.
Right.
Before we continue on to the book, which is very important to me to really get to, I really want you to go into your investment rounds for the sports group and your soccer. Like, tell us about
I'm
this,
interested.
please.
I
love this.
I think the only time my Haitian father was truly proud of me was owning a football team, a soccer team.
Football.
I was like, I
Soccer
did it.
is a big lady.
Football. What?
Do you know we're in the World Cup? We will not stop talking about it. It's a big deal.
So soccer never really been on my radar.
That's what I said. They'll probably pull.
There's countries who didn't make the World Cup. Ours did.
Nice.
Yes.
And we don't.
Ireland didn't. My husband.
I know. And our stadium, Our soccer stadium is being run by a gang. We can't even play in our own soccer stadium
That's right.
in Haiti. So we've been
Yep.
playing in other countries. The team has been playing in other countries.
So to make the World Cup is huge under the
amazing. I'm
circumstances.
super happy for Haiti.
Yeah, it's been 52 years.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's a big moment.
That is huge.
Yeah, we will be talking about it forever.
Ever.
Yeah.
We really will.
If Donald lets them in,
I think,
apparently,
apparently he's supposed to.
Oh, yeah, because we're on the list.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be waiving the
I mean, how ridiculous
requirements.
is this? How ridiculous.
Well,
The
white
random
supremacy is all
requirements.
around. So I if you would have asked me on my very detailed Virgo list of something I want to do would not be in sports ownership at all. But I used to have a racist client, Lululemon.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I got to tell you about my app too.
Yes.
I actually heard about it.
Oh,
But
good.
so I worked with Lululemon for years, and one thing I would do with them, or they were my client for years. I knew they were racist, but I was there to help them with their racism. I just want to be very clear about that.
Right.
And then I was like, I can't do this anymore. It's very public. You can Google my name and Lululemon. There's a whole expose that I was part of.
Ooh.
Can't wait to read it.
They do not like me, but one thing I would do is vet urban partnerships. Urban for Lululemon meant anything with Black people, non, size 0 to 4 skinny white women who could do Pilates at 11 a.m. on a Wednesday. So like stuff in Brooklyn, or so in this case it was the Oakland Roots at the time. So the Oakland Roots is a pro men's soccer team in USL, United Soccer League, and our training facility is where the Raiders used to train in Alameda.
Okay.
I was a Raiders fan, so it was quite the moment. So they invited me to go to this presentation. One of the co-founders, Idris Arganjawal, did this presentation about the roots and how they're tied to purpose and community, because Lululemon had given them some product and they're thinking about a deeper relationship. And they wanted my insight. And so Idris is like, well, we're also going to announce a women's team, the Soul. And these are the 2 crusts that we have. And me, the Virgo, I was like, hey, here's what's wrong with your crust. You should do X, Y, and Z. Sorry, not sorry, I'm a Virgo. And then at the end of the presentation, I went up and I was like, just so you know, Lululemon is my client. So if you need help with what you're doing, I would love to learn more. It's incredibly impressive, great branding. And so he walks into my car, we exchange info, and he was like, I'm a Virgo too. And I was like, oh, this is going to be great. So then the next day he texted me and he was like, I took your feedback in and incorporated it into the crest. So the Soul crest is my little baby.
Oh.
There's a lot of community input in there, but there was a substantial change. That's mine, which I'm very proud of. And then he was like, would you mind introducing the team to the city of Oakland? We're doing this whole event. The mayor's going to be there and we're going to announce the team. And I was like, sure. But why? And he was like, I don't think anyone else can explain it the way you explain it. The way you explain it is so good and it's true and it's right. And that I couldn't even get the words myself. And I was like, okay, cool. Happy to do it. Little problem. Never been to a Roots game.
Yeah.
So I went to a game that week. I fell in love with the game. It was when I got into the Roots, they were playing at Laney College at that time. And it reminded me of Oracle days and Warrior, Warriors games at Oracle Arena. It reminded me of Raiders games on the Black Hole. And I was like, this is Oakland. And A's games, this is Oakland. And so I kept kind of just talking to people throughout the year, different leaders in the organization. The majority owner called me down to the training facility. He's like, hey, Akilah, I want you to lead our community investment round. I said, no. And he was like, no, we're going to do it with WeFunder. WeFunder's responsible for this legislation. So, people don't have to be accredited investors. And I was like, I think that's wonderful and great. I've never raised money in my entire life, so no. But happy to help with the marketing, the branding, the storytelling, that I can easily do. And we go back and forth for 45 minutes. And I thought to myself, I could be a mediocre white man. He is not that. He's exceptional. But I could be a mediocre white man. And I said, yes. And so sure enough, on the first day of our raise, we raised $1 million. And at the close of our raise is $3.1 million.
Nice.
The majority owner did the same thing again. He was like, I want you to be the lead investor. I was like, again, I don't invest. I just started I invest. But I just made my first investment. It was in a Serena Williams company. So I'm like, I'm not a seasoned investor.
Yeah.
He's like, no, you can do it. So I invested money into the team. So I'm
Wow.
personally invested. My company's invested in the team, and that's how I became one of the owners. I'm a signatory for the team.
Wow.
I also represent 6,000 plus investors for our community investment round. And the thing that was really special about that is, in order to invest, you have to make a certain amount of money.
Yes.
So $200,000 for 2 years on your taxes.
Mm-hmm.
$300,000 if you're a couple. If you don't make that, you can't invest.
Yeah.
And it's a huge barrier, right? So, but someone could invest $100, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000.
Right.
You can make $197,000 and work at a tech company and everything's paid for and you can't invest.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so it was something that really resonated with who I am and how I operate, and being a community and purpose-driven football club. It was
Right.
just very aligned. And so I became a face of the team, and that's how I became an owner. And then I became a
Wow.
woman in sports, and I did not
Wow.
necessarily want to do that
Right.
because it's a very penile-filled space.
Yes.
They're just everywhere. And so it's another place of dismantling
Yes. Yes.
to be in. But I love being a disabled person who owns a pro sports team. I love being a woman who owns that. I love being a Black woman in particular who owns a pro team. And I think it's really important that women know they can do it without a partner.
Yes.
So there's husbands and wives who invest in teams,
Mhm.
which is so cute for you. But I think it's really important to do it independently. I think it's much more powerful. It's like buying a home
Yeah.
yourself. It's
Yeah.
100%
Right.
yours.
Yes.
And you are giving yourself more power and privilege. Yeah.
That's wonderful, really. But I really want to get to this
The
book.
book. Yeah.
Yes.
Book. White Supremacy is All Around. So tell us everything.
So, I mean, what do you want to know?
I
There's
mean,
so
I
many
want
things.
to... What made you write this book? Yes.
I felt, again, like learning and unlearning is foundational and instrumental to dismantling white supremacy.
Right.
And people can do it through stories. So we can start with the cover. On the cover, I look very cute, but
Yes, you do.
I purposely have a cane
Mm-hmm.
because people would wonder why I have a cane.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So they'd have to pick up the book. The book is yellow, so I can always see it. But no, it's
Yeah.
yellow, so people can also see it too. I'm on the cover because for Disability Pride Month, I'm always on the front for bookstores. I'm on the cover because it's a Black author for,
Yeah.
Black History Month, right?
Yes.
There's
Right.
that. But I wanted people to
Strategy.
find some way to question why I'm talking about white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
So the full title is White Supremacy is All Around, Notes from a Black Disabled Woman in a White World. And I wanted people who had any part of my intersectionality or curiosity of my intersectionality to be interested in the book. I wanted to tell the stories that I've experienced in the 40 years of my life by the time I wrote that book, to find a way to say like, oh, I've experienced that too.
Mm-hmm.
I talk a lot about the workplace in there, similar to what we talked about earlier in this podcast. And I talk about the lawsuit. I talk about all of that stuff in there. So women and women of color won't necessarily feel alone in the workplace. I talk about my journey to learning how I'm disabled, and what that looks like. But if people didn't care about me as a woman, maybe they'd care about me as a Black person. But they didn't care about me as a woman or a Black person. Maybe they care about my stories as a disabled person.
Right.
Because the thing about disability is people feel like shit when they learn I'm disabled. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
And maybe if you only see my humanity as a disabled person, fucking fine. Come on in, read this
Yeah.
book, and
Yeah.
see how it's all
Connected.
Connected.
right?
Yeah.
And so that's how the cover in the book.
I want to move into, following
yeah.
this, I think we should go into what's currently happening in
Right.
our country. I became a citizen in 98, I think it was, or 97.
Thank you.
And
I'm sorry.
at the same time, it's like put the sticky note on the passport when you travel now, because you don't want people to ask you why you're what's going on?
Where are you
What's
still
going on?
living there?
What's going
Yeah.
on
I
over here?
know, I
What's
know.
happening?
I know.
And I just, for me, I started the magazine because I really wanted to create a space for underrecognized founders, creatives, entrepreneurs, especially women of color, specifically Black women. I wanted to start this podcast as an extension to the magazine. And I called my friend Seneca one day. We had not met in person yet after 2 years of kind of, knowing each other. And I said, hey, I think you should do the podcast with me. And she said yes. And here we are. So
You're a great duo, by the way.
Thank you.
This is my second time seeing you live.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is. It's so natural and it's so easy.
Yeah.
There's no drama. It's just, yep, nope. Okay, let's do it this way. So thank you for that. But I feel that we are at a point now in this country where, like I said, the country should be on fire with all of the dismantling that's been happening towards people of color, but especially Black women. And I'd love to hear your take on what do we do? Besides
on
be
actions.
angry and fight and
Yeah.
Because
it's important right now that we talk about what can we do. We all know, everyone, is saying vote, and I'm there.
They're dismantling that too.
Yes.
Voting still matters, though.
But it still matters.
Yeah, true.
It still matters. And we have to get people more engaged in that effort. We just have to. But let's hear what you have.
Not a surprise to anyone. You have to actively dismantle white supremacy,
Right?
Yeah.
And it starts within yourselves,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So everyone upholds values of white supremacy. There's no way around it. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
Like, in order for you to be a successful lawyer, you had to compromise Black values, to get to where you wanted to go, right? In order for you to even get citizenship, you had to compromise your values,
Yes.
and your culture to get to where you are. And so when we dismantle white supremacy within ourselves, we're saying, what am I doing every day that is either upholding values of white supremacy or dismantling white supremacy? What am I doing with my power and privilege to get back to humanity? So it's really important that people understand that, and I talk about this in the book, white supremacy is a wonderful thing. And some people may be like, well, no, it's not. Well, white supremacy means someone gets pulled over and they're told to slow down or they get a ticket. They're not murdered or maimed or thrown in jail and given a bail they can't pay. White supremacy means getting promoted at work for not having any of the accolades. Where we know Black women will have 17 million degrees, stay late, give up their child's life to get to level of promotion.
Our last election.
Yep.
Vice President Kamala Harris and the rapist. Excuse me, but I'm going to say
You don't have to say excuse me for the factual thing. You have a convicted felon, someone who's a rapist and white supremacist. White supremacy is a white person going to the emergency room and their pain is believed.
Right.
And even though it says I have heart things on my chart, I'm a drug seeker.
Right.
Or I'm a stressed, anxious woman.
Right.
Yeah. Combo platter can happen
Yeah.
too. White supremacy is standing in line in the cafe and someone knows you're in line.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? They don't stand in front of you. White supremacy means you live in a neighborhood where there's a grocery store, there's access to transportation, there's a hospital, there's all the things that you need to thrive, the social determinants of health. White supremacy just means only white people get that.
Yeah.
I would love those things. I'm sure you would love those things. But we have to work harder to get those same things.
Yeah.
And even if we do, oh, congrats, you bought a home, but you live near a toxic site in Baby Hunter's Point. Right? Because that's what you can't afford. That's if you get the loan.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? That's if you have generational wealth to help you buy a home,
Right.
right? That's here. White supremacy is something everyone should have because it's really called the social determinants of
Right.
health to thrive. But white supremacy only means white people get it.
Right.
So that's why the dismantling part, the power and privilege part, all of that stuff is really important
Yes.
to get to the part where everyone gets the same thing. White people feel we are not deserving of the same thing as theirs.
Yes.
And those who are working on dismantling white supremacy right now, aka allies, who are comfortable learning how to be uncomfortable, they will only say to this point. So, like, white women right now don't even understand that they're also in line for losing their voting rights.
Yes.
They don't understand that.
Oh, no, they don't understand. With the SAVE Act, I mean...
Well, the SAVE Act didn't pass, which is great.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the Voting Rights Act of 1965.
Yes.
Oh, right.
That was just,
right.
Yes.
That was just slashed by the 6 judges on
but that's
the White
also how
Supremacy Supreme Court.
white women can vote too.
Right.
Right. So the what is happening right now with the MAGA administration is getting back to only men having power.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that can still include black men because black men could vote before white women.
Yes.
White women forget this all the time.
Right.
Right. Because being a male still has more power.
Yeah.
Right. Even though a black man, of course, discrimination galore, but it still can have more power in certain instances to uphold male white superiority.
Right.
Right. So,
Which
yeah.
is,
So we have to dismantle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, we talk about voting, which I'm obviously an advocate for and would want to tell everybody to please vote, go and vote, do what you have to do to vote.
But it's not the voting that matters.
And
It's talking to your racist ass uncle, grandfather, your family members, your partner. It's divorcing your partner. It's checking your partner.
Yes.
It's having those difficult conversations. I'm not going to be able to have them, but those white folks in those white spaces can.
Yeah.
I was at an event on Monday, I think it was. I told you about it. We had dinner a couple nights ago, and it was the conversation about how Black women will ever be able to trust white women again, and what white women have to do for Black women to trust them. And when I told Akilah, she knows the person and talked about her experience there, but she said, I'll never be able to trust a white woman. And I said, me neither. And the reason is because exactly what you just said. They don't understand that standing up for Christianity, which doesn't even take part in what they're doing on a daily basis. It's the exact opposite, actually. And they are voting against their interests, which means that with the Voting Rights Act being slashed by the Supreme Court, they're going to be affected, but they don't care because...
Well, they choose their whiteness over any kind of imagined, womanhood, like we're all women and, this. And I've had some white women jump into my comments, about, when it's a Black conversation, I make that clear, like who I'm talking to, but they like to jump in there. And then they'll say something about, well, we're women and we stick together. And it's like, well, the facts and the data doesn't really reflect that. And that's
Susan B. Anthony was racist.
Right.
Yeah.
Susan B. Anthony did not want Black women to vote.
No.
So
she wanted white women to vote.
Right.
But white women don't necessarily know that history. So that's why the first chapter of my book is White Women Are Exhausting. The second chapter is Cause Them Karens Just Turned Into Terrorists. That is a quote from Beyonce. It's from Energy. But yes, they can choose their whiteness, and that in itself is power and privilege.
Yes.
White women who know that can do incredible work.
Right.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm going to trust you, but I appreciate the work that you are doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. At the event, one of the women said exactly what you just said. She stood up and said, what you guys can do is when you go into your dinners at Thanksgiving or whatever, and you're talking to your racist uncle and he says something that is not right, that you have the power to stand up, tell him that it's not okay, and leave and cut it at there, not just nod and smile and then keep it going and pretend like you don't have a way that you can make the change. So I think it's very important to know that there are so many ways to learn and unlearn, as you say so often in your book and on your social media. For us too, Black women of, Latinas, Asian, everybody, we are taught that being close to the proximity of whiteness is supposed to give us that, acceptance.
Yeah, or protection. But
Correct.
It's unfortunately for Black people, we know that's never been quite enough. It's no matter how close you get, you're still Black. When, it's not, it doesn't provide
no matter
the
how light you are.
protection that, even celebrities have experienced that, no matter how much money you have, no matter how close you are into their inner circles, you are still...
Serena Williams and Beyonce both almost died having babies.
Yes.
They're both billionaires.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't matter. You're still getting specialized care in a private environment. You look not white.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right? And so and that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. We have a lot of people right now who just are choosing comfort, and that's why they can live as if they're not.
Nothing's happening. That's
why they can live as if Jim Crow isn't right around the corner.
Correct. It's here. I think it's here.
Yeah.
But
I think
talking
so
about
on
other
a happy
ways.
note. No.
Yeah.
on a happy note,
other ways that we can support or help make sure that we hopefully don't get to Jim Crow, because I think we're about 95% there, honestly, with all of the laws that have been passed. It's not just about voting.
We're not 95% there. We have to be really careful because we're sitting in San Francisco right now.
True.
If it was 95%, we wouldn't be in this building.
Yeah.
Right? So, but it doesn't mean that when it comes to the regulatory bodies,
Right.
that could get there. Like right now, folks don't know that it's legal per the federal government to segregate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because...
So you can segregate funding, you can segregate offices, you can segregate programming. That's segregation, but it's in the federal environment. This building doesn't have to do it.
Right.
The restaurant doesn't have to do it. When we are getting closer to that, for sure. But that's why this is the moment for change.
Right.
Because if we don't, I can't stress this enough. To see people go over the Selma Bridge, the what is the name of the bridge? The
Edmund
Pettus. Right. To go over the bridge is fucking wild, because there's people who went over that bridge in 1965. And that's how we're able to get the legislation. That's how we got Bloody Sunday.
Yes.
Bloody Sunday was shown on the TV. That's how we were able to get the Voting Rights Act passed.
Correct.
Right? There are people who are alive today who are over that bridge then who are on it today. We're not, we haven't been far from Jim Crow.
No.
But now we're getting closer
to get back to it.
Yeah. So yes, it's voting, but it's time to have uncomfortable conversations. Right? So folks can make a choice. You have to understand that white women were like, yeah, grab him by the pussy, I'm still going to vote for him.
Yeah.
White women, kids in cages, oh, I'm still going to vote for him.
It's fine.
White women, kids in cages, grab him by the pussy, and also a convicted felon, rapist, still going to vote for him. Because that's how important whiteness is. So who are the people having those discussions to say, you can't do this shit no more? Like, you have to shut it down. That you cannot do that, because now you're harming us. Some of those white women's kids no longer have their special needs care.
Right.
Yeah.
For education, school, home, because Medicaid, Medicare, Medi-Cal, all the things, right? They don't have that. Is it going to be enough for you to say no more?
Yes.
The other thing is that the Democrats are pieces of shit right now. And I vote
Yeah.
Democrat. I'll just, put that out there. I'm a liberal person. They have to take more action.
Oh, my gosh.
They are not doing that.
No.
And that's even more
yeah.
frustrating, right? So yes, vote, but Democrats have to take action, and we have to have conversations with the racist, homophobic, transphobic, xenophobic people in our families. There's someone who is the kindest, nicest person, but they're like, yes, get him with ICE.
Yes.
That doesn't make him a kind, nice person.
No.
That actually makes him a xenophobic at best, but definitely racist.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have to start naming it, calling it out, and putting it out there. If not, people are going to stay in this place of comfort, which is white supremacy.
Right.
Yeah.
You
And
summed that up so well.
Yeah, thank you for reeling me back from the 95%, because I just see like the car just running to drive off the cliff, and I don't see the action that I want to see, right? I want to see people pissed off and like, well, I'm not buying from this, this, and this, which brings me to economic power. It's not just about voting. Voting is very important. Make sure that you vote. But the economic power is also extremely important.
So in my mind, and I understand that white supremacy at the core is a system that's built on power, on economic power, on having somebody at the top and everybody else, somewhere down at the bottom.
No opportunities.
But the strong man in this whole, white supremacy for me is always
capitalism is part of white supremacy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's systems and structures, right? We have to say both of them.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's the way in which we operate and how we work together. It's the way. So all businesses in America are built the same way America was founded, by white men. Right? Even a Black-owned business, you're going through these systems and structures. You have to get this certificate. You have to have this, right?
License,
so, right.
And this and that.
All of these things are in the systems and structures that can uphold things. So to dismantle means you are actively doing something against the system or structure that is for everyone. When we dismantle, it's not saying white people be treated like Black people, which a lot of white people
here.
think. That's not that. White people know how bad Black people are treated, so if they dismantle, they're like, well, I don't want that. But if you want me to have the same thing as you, then I'll be treated the same as you. That's how they have to think within the dismantling.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. But even the concept of whiteness was, I think, created so that there could be a power structure, right?
That's why the colonizers are different from the baby colonizers.
Right.
So when you go to the British Empire, you are Irish.
Right.
You are British.
Yeah.
Right. You're Danish. You're the white culture. You're Jamaican.
Right.
You are Kenyan. You are that. Right. America is like, no, we need them all together because we don't understand because we don't have that critical thinking of those foreigners. So we need the whites. Right. So that's why I always talk about ethnicity. Race is a social construct. It is not real. So white people here, you are some type of white. You need to know the type of white you are. And that part is really important because that reminds you that you come from a line of immigrants to be here.
100%.
So the very hate you have. So you're Irish American or you're British or whatever.
Which
Dutch.
could be a very different historical experience.
Yes.
Right.
It's Irish American.
Italian.
Where you came from, Ireland, a place that was colonized.
Yes.
And somehow you came here, became white, adopted.
But that is part of what y'all
supremacy.
said earlier. If you don't know your history, and that's by design for being an American, that keeps people in the position of upholding white supremacy.
Right.
Correct.
Got it. We've got it, okay? And we know what we need to do.
Yeah.
We need to keep
I mean, they should probably buy my book.
Yeah.
It's very helpful. If you like the voice today, I did narrate my audiobook.
Oh,
so
really?
You can get sarcasm.
So yes, please get Akilah's book, White Supremacy is All Around. Download the Reckoned app, RECKOND, and put it in quotations in the App Store.
That will empower you around your capitalism of where to buy, where to put resourcing.
It will let you know the brands that are in, whether or not it's performative or not, but it will tell you the brands that have a record of discrimination, of lawsuits, of not, having any commitment, of DEI rollbacks, but also tell you the brands that are doing more positive things that show that there is some commitment to the Black people, their Black employees, and their community. So,
And don't forget to subscribe to Truer Magazine as well. We really highlight brands that are being forgotten in the algorithm. So remember to do that. And Akilah, tell everybody where they can find you. And
you can find anything on my website, Change Cadet, CADET.com, or social media at Change CADET, changecadet.com. If you're single, slide in my DMs.
Love it.
And you can tune into my podcast, Humane Rights, on any podcast platform you listen to.
Beautiful. We didn't get to chat about the podcast, so we'll have to have you on again next time.
Sure. In fact, we have a very expert podcaster here. So, we need to chat about that.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. This was such a great session. I could talk to you for hours, but we'll have to do it again.
Let's.
Absolutely.
Keep it amazing.
You so much. Yeah, this has been really, really a great conversation. So thank you very much.
Thank you.